So, hi everybody. In this case, I'm going to be talking about three topics from the subject called time management. So, the first topic is time management. It doesn't really mean you're going to take the time to manage it. Uh, it's because you cannot take the time right. So, it means to organize yourself. It means you're gonna have kind of agenda of the things you're gonna do during the day or during the week during a large period of time. So when you have it organized, it is easier to you to make the things and to accomplish with different duties you have during the day. So that's the first concept. The second one I want to talk about is, well, we have two words. One is efficiency, and the other one is effectivity of or effectiveness. Two last ones mean the same. So, efficiency, it means when you're doing something by the right way. Let's say I'm doing exercise. Okay, but everything you do has a technique. So, for example, to exercise, you have to have your legs separate to the distance of your shoulders. I'm just giving an example. Then that's part of the technique. If you're doing exercise like this, uh, that's not the correct way to do it. So it is not gonna work for you because the structure of your body is not working by the proper way in order to benefit your body and your muscles. So you have to do the things by the correct way. Mm, that's what efficiency means. And then the other word that we have is effectiveness or effectivity. It means uh, to do the correct things, not only to do. I mean, what if you wanna lose some weight? You have to feed properly and to make exercise and to do some things that doctor recommends. So it's probably that you can prepare a good meal in your kitchen, but if it's not the the food that doctor recommended you, it is not gonna work. Even if the dish or if the meal is properly prepared. So you have to do the right things when you need to do them. That's what effectivity means. So let me talk about some other topics. Okay, so now I'm gonna talk about two words that are a difference, but they lead us to a correct way to finish our activities at the end of the day. So we're talking about objectives and goals. Objectives let you go by the correct way. Let's say um, I wanna buy a car. That's my objective. That's not a goal. A goal. I'm gonna tell you why. I wanna buy a car, but all of the decisions you made before you buy a car are gonna be focused uh, forward that. So let's say you already have the objective. You wanna buy a car, and then suddenly you have a craving about hamburgers and that. So you're gonna think about to buy the hamburger or to save the money in order to pay the car. So that's a decision that you have to make. And if you already know what your objectives are, you're gonna take the correct decision. Then the correct decision in that case is to save the money. And then the goal is a little bit different because the goal is similar. You can have, oh, okay, my goal is to buy a car, but a goal is more specific because it has a date to be accomplished. Uh, for example, you have to analyze a lot of things to make a goal. If it is possible to reach it. So after you analyze it, you can say, okay, I'm gonna buy a car uh, last next year on February, let's say something. Why? Because you already analyzed that according to your money or your salary, you can get it if you save a specific quantity each month. So that's the goal. You have a specific day to do that, and you can use it in a short place, medium place, or large term. So that's the difference between objectives and goals. That objectives makes you take a direction to do something, or leads you to a specific direction. So your decisions are taken according to that. And the other that are goals, they they are they are gonna be accomplished in a specific date, in a specific day and date and month, year. That's the okay. So I'm gonna talk about the benefits of managing your time. It's because you have to organize your life. I mean, not your entire life, but your day, your week, your month, to have a specific time or hour to eat, to sleep, to rest, to go to work, to do your homeworks. Okay, so let's lead this to an enterprise, to an industrial context. When you're in a factory or in an industry, you're gonna be working with more workers or co-workers. But if you're the leader, you have to manage your time, to manage yourself, to be able to manage the time of the other ones and to delegate them some duties. So uh, that's important because if you can manage your time properly, everyone is gonna trust you and you're gonna be able to tell them what to do. That's what it's important. So uh, some of the benefits, one is that you can save money, but you're gonna say why? It's because, well, it's well now that time is kind of money, because if you save time, you have a lot of time, you can earn more money. um, Sometimes it is not like, oh, okay, I have like 2 hours free, I'm gonna work a lot. No, it maybe sometimes you can sleep, you can even rest if you have some time, some free time. It's because you're not gonna be working all the day, all the night. You have to rest as well and to sleep, to be able to think about productivity and those things that are important to your enterprise. So if you manage your time, you're gonna be able to have free time, and then you'll decide if you use that free time to rest, to sleep, or to keep working and producing more money. I mean, you're not gonna be producing money, but you're gonna be um, manufacturing products, and then you're gonna sell them, and then money is gonna come. So those are some benefits of managing your time. Already talking about time management is important for your lives and that, but you're gonna be asking, okay, but how can I manage my time? So I'm gonna talk about some techniques to manage it. Um, there are 3 techniques that I learned in the time management class, and there are 3 specific techniques that I like the most. So the first one is one technique called GDT. It means getting this done. It's because it is almost as simple as, if there is something to do, just do it. So there's not any problem, right, about understanding that. But I like that technique because sometimes we're snoozing the duties that or tasks we have to do. we say, okay, I have to clean my room, but then it is like 5. Okay, I'm gonna clean it later. Then it is like 6. Oh, you're gonna clean it later. You're just snoozing your task. You're if you keep following with that way, you're not gonna do your task never. So what this technique says is if you have something to do, just do that immediately. So um, the other technique I like is don't break the chain. It means if you're doing something, like let's take the last example. Already clean my room. Okay, I'm tired, but you feel like happy because you already did some task, but it doesn't work like that. So because you could be breaking that chain, so you have to continue doing tasks. If you already did one task, it doesn't mean you can rest and sleep. No, you have to continue doing tasks, not until you finish them, but at least until the day finishes or your schedule. We're gonna talk about a schedule and agenda. We're gonna talk about them later, but you have to continue doing tasks and duties to avoid chain breaks. So the other technique that I already knew when I was in high school, well, it is Pomodoro technique. When I was in high school, I was making a kind of research. So it was like 8 pages. That was a lot. So my technique was to work during 25 minutes, and then it was like midnight, so I was so sleepy. My technique was to work during 25 minutes and sleep well 5 minutes, and then the alarm sounds and I wake up, and then I keep working during another 25 minutes, and that at the end of the well, let's say at the end of the night, because it was during the night when I was working. At the end of the night, when I had to go to school, I had already finished the complete essay, the complete research. So that's a technique that I was using then. I didn't know that it has a name that was Pomodoro, but if it worked for me in the past, it can works for me now. It can work for you always. So those are the techniques that I recommend you to use to manage your time. So first of all, we have the schedule. A schedule is a piece of sheet where you have the members of the meeting. You have the purpose and the objectives of the meeting, and then you have the time when the presentation is gonna be, when each person is gonna talk. Then you have everything about organization of the meeting in that sheet. That helps you to cover all the points that are gonna be seen in the meeting, and to finish it at expected time. Because sometimes meetings are so boring because they say meeting is gonna last 2 hours, and then you're like all the day there in the meeting. So it's maybe because they have a schedule or an agenda to organize the meeting. That's a tool that lets you manage your meeting and cover all the objectives and all the points. Okay, so I have been talking you about kind of you're gonna be the leader and everyone is gonna follow you. But what happens? It is not like you're gonna give orders to the other ones. it's like you have to have that energy to empower yourself and then be able to delegate tasks and to tell everybody what to do. So I'm talking about self-esteem. Well, what's the meaning of it? It is the perspective that you have of yourself. For example, you can say, "Oh, I have at this level, I have at this." Talking about whatever. I'm not talking about a level of a specific ability. So that's the self-esteem, the how you see yourself from outside. So it's important to have a good level of self-esteem, because that way you'll be able to manage the activities of the other ones, because confidence is an important aspect that influences your behavior social with the other person, with the other people. So you have to be so smart and to have a good emotional intelligence. I'm gonna talk about later. Uh, to be able to manage the time and the activities of the others. So now, emotional intelligence. It means to manage your emotion and your feelings, and that lets you be able to manage the emotion and the feelings of the other as well. It's because you know the when you have a positive energy, you can project it to the other ones. So if you're like sad, you're like no no having or not making effort to do things. If you're like that, the other people are going to see you, sorry, and they're going to become like lazy. They won't be able to do things and work because they are seeing you. You're not telling them anything, but just the feeling you project is influencing them. So that's why it's important to have a good emotional intelligence. It means to manage your emotions and feelings in order to be able to manage the feelings and emotions of the others as well. And finally, leadership. Um, it is a little bit difficult for people who are not a native leadership, because you have to learn a lot of things. First of all, you have to deal with yourself, because sometimes you're not sure of doing something, but even though you have to project some confidence, then that's let's say a difficult part of leadership. But leadership is an ability that you have to develop. um, you have to know a lot of you have to know about the your job and your work, the activities you're doing, and also it's gonna help you to help the other person or the other people, because you have to, that's something personal, but I think if you're gonna become a leader, you have to be an expert in where you're leading the people. So you have to practice a lot and to get involved as more as possible in the context you're working at. But leadership is something that no not everyone has, but everyone can develop it.